talk some NBA now. Nick's about to give out some medals. Joel Embiid, he's a candidate. Battled through some bumps and bruises. Put up 37 last night. But no Ben Simmons for the Sixers. No win, and thus no medal for Embiid. So, Nick, take us through who did earn a medal last night.
Yeah, let's go right to the medals. Melo got the win. No Dame, no CJ, no problem. Carmelo Anthony with a win, 22-4-5. Get Melo on the medal stand. Silver medalist, Kelly Oubre. After arguably the worst game anyone's played in the NBA all year, Kelly Oubre responds with a career high in a blowout win over the really struggling, gotta be concerned now, Dallas Mavericks. Gold medalist, LeBron James. 27-10-10 in a second half evisceration of the Denver Nuggets. 68-35 in the second half. LeBron controlled every single aspect of the game, and then after the game tried to control the All-Star game not happening, saying that he's not into it. So LeBron gets his gold, Brandon. There's bronze, silver, gold, Melo, Oubre, LeBron. What's up?
I like it, but I know this is supposed to be a celebration, Nick, but another no-show by AD. Like, you guys aren't playing for the regular season. Right. You guys are playing for LeBron James to get the 5th ring. 13 points, only 8 shots. Are you not concerned?
AD's got to play better. I will admit, AD's got to play better. Luckily, you've got the greatest player of all time taking care of things for him right now, Jenna. Luckily, LeBron's just still saying, like, I got
but not good enough, Wilds. Tell me someone that missed the cut last night.
Oh, Donovan had 18 points, would have had 20. He missed this dunk. After the game, he says he's trying to think of what dunk to do. That's the problem when you're a dunk champion. You've got too many options. You're too good for your own good. From now on, just go with a straight reverse dunk. It's a classic. Everybody likes it. Hang on the rim a little bit. That's add a little flair to it. Too good for his own good. Donovan Mitchell, 18 points. Jazz win.
Do the straight inverse 1.5. Just your standard. Hey, we got a fun game we like to call over-under on the other side.
They're going to run the ball. They're going to lean heavy on the run game. You saw them do it against the Saints. You saw them do it against Green Bay. And that helped them out a lot. It opened up the field. When you look at Kansas City and what they're up against, and I said it yesterday, don't even try to run the ball. So what does that mean? Everything is going to be on Mahomes in that passing game. And it's always come down to them. But the problem is you got a banged up offensive line, and you got Shaq Barrett, you got Sue, and you got JPP bearing down on you. That's a problem. So we're going to see Mahomes at his greatest, or we're going to see Mahomes at his worst. I truly believe this could be the most frustrated we've ever seen Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Eric Bieniemy, because now they can get to you with 4, and now you got so many guys in coverage, and if those guys are communicating the right way, it's going to be problems. First half, week 12, lights out. You had a receiver, Tyreek Hill, go for 203 yards in the first quarter. Like, that's more yards than I had in my all-time game. And then the second half, they switched it up. Soft zones, backing up, don't let anybody behind you. And they struggled a little bit, Nick. So I truly believe if Mahomes get it done, which we know there's a good chance he will be MVP. But it's going to be trouble for him when you turn on this game Sunday because of who he's going up against in these individual matchups, defensively versus offense.
All right, well, so Brandon's absolutely right that Mahomes has to play like an MVP for the Chiefs to win. That is why the Chiefs are the Chiefs. The Bucks might have a couple different paths. So the answer to the question is undoubtedly Mahomes. Luckily, he will. And there is an under-the-radar storyline that happened 12 days ago. And there's an under-the-radar storyline that's going to happen 1 day from now. The one 12 days ago that we all got over quite quickly was the utter, total, and complete evisceration of a 13-3 Buffalo Bills team by Patrick Mahomes, when he had arguably his best playoff game ever, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, a 128 passer rating, a perfect football game against a 13-3 team in a week he couldn't even practice because of the concussion protocol. But Wilds, more importantly, is what's happening tomorrow night. Because I know you think I've been jotting down fake bulletin board material. I'm going to give you some real bulletin board material. Do you know what happens tomorrow night, Kevin Wildes? The NFL
No.
has a fancy ceremony. And at that ceremony,
good call.
They're going to announce who the league MVP is. And you know whose name they're not going to say? Patrick Mahomes. And you know who I know verifiably, and after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I can probably elaborate more on this, is furious about that? Patrick Mahomes. So if you need a little extra chip on your shoulder, a little extra, oh, they doubted me motivation, he's going to get it about 18 hours before kickoff when they announce Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. So Patrick Mahomes, who has played one bad playoff half in his career, I think is going to play like an MVP. Pass rush be damned, and the Chiefs definitely need him to play like an MVP in order to win.
Okay. So do you think the fact that he's not getting the MVP is keeping him up at night? And if you do, it might be time for America's favorite segment of football previews called Nightmare Fuel. That's right, folks. Nightmare Fuel for Patrick Mahomes is back. These are the things that will keep Patrick Mahomes up at night. Hit the thunder and the lightning. The first one, 25 minutes of terror. Oh, it sounds like a terrible Disney ride. It is not. What it is the stat that is this. Mahomes is 2-6. When he doesn't have the ball for at least 25 minutes. So he's sitting in his bed. He's like, what if I'm just sitting on the bench the whole time? What if Leonard Fournette just keeps on running the ball and we don't get the ball back? Nightmare fuel would be terrible for Patrick Mahomes. Oh, I didn't even get the MVP. I don't even get to play in the Super Bowl. Number 2, Todd Bowles' Frankenstein game plan. What does that mean? It means you take a little bit from each team. Oh, how did the Raiders win? Surprise, surprise. They control time possessions. How about the Broncos? What did they do? Oh, red zone defense. Harrison Butker kicked 5 field goals, and Tyreek Hill had a touchdown that even he didn't want to count. What was the other one? Oh, the Falcons. They only scored 17 points against the Falcons. It's all those simulated scary blitzes. Number 3, not only an odd-looking Reebok shoe, Shaq Attack. Forced fumble, Nick. You were very worried about it. Shaq Barrett gets on the field, forces a fumble. False security is job security. That's what I tell my children every night.
Yours and mine.
It keeps them, it gives sweet dreams. Here it is. Oh, ball's loose. And finally, and this is the weird one. No one's talking about this, but it happens every single Super Bowl. The poltergeist play. Everyone thinks they can plan out the Super Bowl. It never works that way. You got Leon Lett, you got Malcolm Butler, you got James Harrison, you got helmet catch, you got the Philly special, you got the lights going up. You got weird stuff happening. It's always something weird going on. So, Nick, those are the 4 things. Are you worried about any of them? As I know, and I'll elaborate on this after the Super Bowl, perhaps I'll also elaborate that I think Patrick Mahomes is very nervous about the nightmare fuel.
Mahomes is texting and tweeting all of
I'm
us.
just a little curious, just quickly, because you mentioned the Raider game when the Raiders' brilliant defense held the Chiefs to 32 points. And then you mentioned a Broncos game and a Falcons game. And considering Patrick Mahomes has never in his career lost to either of those teams, I'm a little confused. So you're saying the game plan that the Broncos and Falcons... Oh, okay, a close loss. Got it. Okay, now I better understand. It's just hard. It's just hard to pull on losses since he's lost once his last 26 starts, Brandon. It's just hard to pull on this is what you do to stop him. Got it. Yeah.
Well, let me put those things in perspective for you, because you wanted to go back to the Buffalo game. What didn't the Buffalo Bills have? They didn't have personnel, and they didn't have the scheme. What do I mean by that? Personnel. They didn't have guys that can get to the quarterback. This team has 3 guys that can get to the quarterback on any given play, on any down. And then you look at scheme. What do I mean by scheme? If you go back and put on the film, they didn't disguise, and they definitely didn't play smart. So what happened was the linebackers were just dropping. All right, I'm in cover 3 right now. I'm in zone. So I got I got curl flat. So that means I'm going to drop back to the numbers. And then if the ball goes to the flat, then I'll go to the flat. Those guys were sitting there. But then once they got to their zone, they weren't playing smart. They weren't reading, okay, number one went to the flat. He's covered. So now let me push to the dig route, to the basic route. They didn't do that. They just literally dropped in their spots and sat there, and there was wide open gaps. You're not going to see that in Todd Bowles' defense. Those guys have scheme, and they have the personnel to play smart and to communicate. That's going to be a problem for Patrick Mahomes come this Sunday.
All right, well, let's take a little turn, talk some NBA now. Nick's about to give out some medals. Joel Embiid, he's a candidate.